how do we transform Mars, terraform Mars, into a habitable planet within just a few decades? Now that might seem impossible, right? Elon Musk nuking the ice caps, yeah, that could work, but that would turn the water radioactive for years. Or you could do it in just a couple decades. Now I forgot the name. I'll put it on screen somewhere. But this guy came up with this string theory. It's not a real string. But how do we put a magnetic field around Mars? Now, this is questioned and fathomed many scientists, great scientists of the 21st and 20th century. Now, a couple of proposals have been, like this one string theory, of this wire, copper wire or wire, whatever, going around in an orbit around the equator of Mars. Now, that does seem like a good idea until you come to cost-wise and feasibility. Now, my idea is wire, right? And you stretch it out just like this, and you put electricity through one end, and there's an output at the other end, and there's current going through it. Imagine there's a current going through this. What happens is that there is a magnetic field, or electromagnetic field is what us scientists call it, that warps around this. If you reverse it, just say there was a battery right here on my table. Just say there was a battery that was right here. It was going in through this end, which means it will be this way, this way, and when we switch it, current will be going through this end. It doesn't make really much difference now. It doesn't really matter at this point. But what I'm explaining to is the simplicity of an electromagnetic field. Now, what happens when we twist it around an object? Now, you might think nothing will happen, but that's feasibly incorrect. Now, if we keep twisting this around my finger, now this is not a really good diagram, but if we keep twisting this around my finger, we have current going through this right now. Do not try this at home or put any current through a copper wire around your finger. You will most likely die. But if you do something like this, and you have electricity come through here, there's this law of physics that states electricity or a magnetic field combines with another magnetic field to create a larger and stronger magnetic field. Now, when I say larger, I mean really stronger. And the stronger it is, the more impact it will have. Now, we call these coils or springs or something like that. Now, imagine a spring shape, something like this, with current going through. Now, I did calculations for this, and what if we instead, because when it does this, when the spring is like this at its current, like, springy state, you know what I mean? Springy state. There's this hole, right? But there's also loops through here. And when these combine, they create a magnetic field that goes through, they combine to make it here. Let's see, do I even has current going through it. Now, I really want you guys to focus on this string, because what it has going through it right now is all of these tiny magnetic fields that were straight are combining into one big, strong magnetic field. Now, we call this electromagnetic field because, well, it has current going through it, first off. Second off, there is a difference, but there is not much. They both act the same in most ways. There is one way, but I forgot what it is. But they act completely the same. They are, imagine them, a magnetic field and electromagnetic field are not polar opposites. They are siblings. Now, we're going to be completely treating them like this throughout this whole video. So now, remember that whenever I mention magnetic field or electromagnetic field, If I accidentally say magnetic field, I'm probably talking about electromagnetic field. Now, how do we get from this to a magnetic field around a planet that is trillions of kilometers wide? I'm just making that number up, but thousands of kilometers wide. Well, each twist to this coil you add, the stronger the electromagnetic field gets. And now you see, this electromagnetic field is already at a point. So imagine this, but 10,000 times bigger. I mean, like, big. Now, this would require a lot of copper. Okay, I'm just telling you that right now. But what if instead we use a superconductor? Now, a superconductor is a super cooled, basically, magnet with energy that goes through it that has an electric field. It's super cooled though. And this is a very strong magnet. I mean, wow, we're talking strong magnetic field. But think of that in a coil shape, like this spring right here that you find in pens or anything like that, but with 10,000 twists around it. Now that you have that in your head, this little thing we're gonna deploy over 1,000 of them into orbit around the equator of Mars. Now, this is feasible because it only takes up 15% of the mass of the Great Pyramids. I did the math, trust me on this one. It is only 14 to 15% the mass of the Great Pyramids of Egypt. And now that's not a lot of mass, because if they were able to build something like that, but way more materials with way more mass, we can build something like this in our lifetime. We already have things, I think, satellites going around Mars right now. If we can deploy satellites into orbit around Mars with these springy, they look like springs, but big. Imagine them being big. But we run only 2,000 volts through one of these. Well, watts. I think it's volts or watts, but whatever. 2,000 volts through one of these coils that has 10,000 twists on it, which is a very strong magnetic field. I'm just telling you that right now. 2,000 volts current going through that. We just have to do that once, and for the next millions to billions of years, that magnetic field will still stay the same strength for millions and billions of years, because the cold in that superconductor that I was just talking about earlier is so cold. Plus, that space is really cold too, right? Negative, hundreds of degrees. But there is a problem with that. Now, you see, you have to keep superconductors cold. And right, there's the sun, right? We obviously have a big, big light bulb. What are we going to orbit around? Nothing? Yeah, no. We have a big light bulb. That is our only problem. And that's a really good problem. I mean, it's not big, but it's big enough to cause problems. And well, it's really easy to solve. See, now, I came up with this umbrella. Now, I know it might cause the magnetic field to warp a little bit, but it's the only way. We add a small shield around it, add a small shield around this to block out that sunlight. Now, that sunlight that comes through will be the shield will be attached to this, obviously, but we just need it to shade the coil from any sunlight. And now, on paper, that sounds really easy, but that would require a lot more materials, bringing it up to 30, maybe even a lot of materials. I haven't done the math yet, but I'm just gonna say a rough estimate around 5% the mass of Well, obviously we need it to wrap, we don't need it to wrap around the whole thing, but we just need it so there's no sunlight hitting this, our main source of protection. And now there's been some other studies like, oh, why don't we just do a big magnetic field that's like a sunblock, you know what I mean? It's orbiting, it's tidally locked to the sun, kind of in an orbit, but it is aligned just perfectly to where sun can be lined up with the magnetic field to protect Mars, which is back here behind this coil that I have right now. The sun is this pencil, just pretend that is. We have to somehow protect that. So that was one of the ideas that someone came up with. No, but I came up with that. I came up with that idea. Coils around the sun. I mean, not around the sun. Whoa. Around Mars. 10,000 turns with a buttload of energy. Just once, though. Enough to power 200 houses. 100 houses. And we need to deploy 1,000 of those. So now, if my math is correct, which we can do in our lifetime. And now you're probably wondering, whoa, slow down. How could this lower the shortage time from decades, from centuries to decades, even though other ideas seem feasible and are way better and have been proven? Well, I'm going to prove that exactly to you today. See, now, the magnetic field traps greenhouse gases inside of Mars. And now, they will slowly warm up over the next few decades. Now, I'm not saying this won't take 1 century. It probably will. But that is time that we have here on Earth, at least for the next generation. Now, would we still be alive? Maybe. Maybe not. But it would allow the next generation that we have, allow them to go step on the big red planet in our night sky. Think about that. Not centuries, not thousands of years. 2 decades, 4 decades. We're talking short time span with a lifetime. This is a revolutionary idea. And it is very complicated, so sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, now where was I? Oh yeah. How much time would this take? Well, first off, the magnetic fields would trap greenhouse gases and the atmosphere from the sun blowing its big giant rays at the planet Mars. And now, wow, we prevented that, right? It's a shield. The magnetic field, or electromagnetic field, actually, that we should be talking about, combines because, like I said earlier, you know how the twists and the coils combine, right? Well, exactly. Their electromagnetic fields combine, not just when twisted, but also when interacting with each other. And now we have to get this perfectly aligned in an orbit, staying over one area of space that whole time that it's going to be up there, which is going to be billions of years. So we need it to be a perfect area, and we need it to be perfectly locked. And that's what we've done here on Earth. We've sent aircraft up into space. We've had them stay in one spot before. It's feasible, it's possible, and it's plausible. We can do it in our lifetime. Now, will this take time? Yes. Okay, that's what we're diving into right now. So how much time will this actually take? Well, that time is very hard to estimate because depending on what greenhouse gases there are, obviously. But what we can tell you is that this will only take decades. Now, I know I'm getting off track. I know I'm repeating stuff, but just listen. The time that this will take is a lot. Years, decades, maybe even centuries, but Not thousands of years. Maybe 100, maybe 40, maybe 50, maybe 60. But that will be still enough time for our younger generation to go step on the red planet. Now, what greenhouse gases are we talking about? Well, once the sun and protons that actually can pass through the electromagnetic field, because the electromagnetic field doesn't stop all of it, obviously. There has to be some light that gets through. So all that light that gets through, you know, when we add, we can colonize it right away, obviously. You would just need a mask, a CO2 tank, and you'd be fine, pretty much. Once we have it all set up, it will engulf the whole planet of Jupiter. Now, how would we get these materials there? Well, this is Phobos and this is Deimos. Now, these two have the right materials to mine. And now for centuries, materials that seemed impossible to get, right? We have an abundance of materials orbiting the red planet already, just waiting for us to mine it. I mean, it seems like it's good. It's a great idea. I mean, we mine Phobos, or Deimos, whichever one is closer, but we mine one of the two moons, the closest moon to Mars, and we start mining operations there. And, well, they have the right materials to make these coils. See now, during the formation of the solar system, matter gathered to create Phobos and Deimos. But not just any matter, the right materials. And when these materials combined, they started orbiting, well, yeah, obviously that planet, but they were leftovers from the creation of Mars, according to scientists. Now, we do gotta understand that this will be expensive. Don't get me wrong. This is going to be an achievement that is very expensive, meant for the highest level of engineering scientists. But I've already figured out the engineering part. Now it's just time for the cost part. And wow, this is going to shock some of you. This could only cost as low as a few $1 million. To build rockets, to get them there, to set up mining operations, this could be $1 billion operation too. The way you think about it is the way it could happen. Now, if we build these on Earth, that will save us millions and possibly billions of dollars from going to mine these two moons. But we just can't. I mean, we can do that. But why do that when we already have materials orbiting the red planet, when we can just launch them fast and vastly fast, which wouldn't take years to set this whole thing up. Instead, it would only take us months. And why don't we just launch the rockets in a series, like you might mention? Like, why don't we just launch them at one launch pad and have a series of them launch? That is a great idea, because we can certainly do that. Now, they obviously would have to be separated apart, but at the right time, if we have them all done at the right specific time, we can launch them all at the same time. But they just need some drastic space, because, well, if you put rockets together, not a great idea. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've already explained, but if you guys see any flaws in my idea, or you guys see any ideas or perfections that you want to remake, or any ideas that should be said, go ahead and comment down below. I will surely read all of those, and yeah, stay tuned for the next one.